right, everybody. Jason Sloan here with Total Loss Solutions, and I have Bill Hicks with HailTrace here today.
Hey, great to be here, Jason. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I've known Bill for, right around 10 years that we've known each other? Pretty close.
Gosh, yeah, going on 10 years.
Yeah.
Man, time flies, too.
Yeah, in this industry, we haven't killed each other yet, so that's pretty amazing.
Hey, that's a winner, brother.
Exactly.
Hey, no, we still hang out, man. It was great to see you down in New Orleans, and that all-you-can-eat seafood, man. Jeez, that was grubbing, man. I appreciate that too.
Good to hear. All right. So do you want to go into HailTrace, the background, or your background? What do you want to get started with?
Sure. Well, I mean, I've been now with HailTrace going on, geez, 8 months already to be able to join HailTrace from my background working in, products and services throughout the industry for so many years, offering out so many different products to contractors. I've had the pleasure of knowing Derek and the team at HailTrace for, gosh, about the same amount of years, right, since it first got going. And watching the growth of HailTrace, it's been very exciting to be a part of it. And from an internal side, being a part of HailTrace, I can see not only the new things that are coming, right, and what's been building currently, but just the explosive growth. It's so fun to watch. And it's great to be a part of the team, for sure. You know full well that I've been in all these other portions, right, like supplementing aerial imagery and measurement, crew sourcing, and all those other areas that everything's related, right? And so how yourself that built over all these years, it translates fantastic into coming to HailTrace.
Yeah. So can you give us the overview on how, I mean, I've heard the story of many people, but not everybody has, and that's why we keep doing these shows, is we put out information that people don't know about HailTrace, which is crazy, but it still happens. So could you give us a little, the Reader's Digest version about how HailTrace got started?
Well, I know the basics of the story. And one is, let's start, Derek, when he was a teenager, was chasing storms. Okay. I know from talking to Derek that the first tornado he ever chased was an F5 while he was in high school. Derek skipped school with a buddy of his and went out chasing an F5 tornado. And he'll tell you to this day, he was in trouble for that one. No doubt about it. But Derek's always had a passion for weather. And as I understand it, many years ago, when HailTrace first got started 10 years ago, one of Derek's friends, who's a roofer, essentially asked him, Derek being, so into weather like he is and getting into mapping the storms and the paths, that one of his friends asked him if he could map a storm for him. And, long story short, that's where it began, as I understand, to today. Derek mapped a storm for a buddy, and now we're mapping storms for everybody nationwide.
All right. Yeah. Great. So I know a few years back they came out with the ATM, so you're able to track people and everything, being able to, get data for the property owners in the area and everything. Yeah. Any new innovations that have come out over the last year?
It's really great having that functionality, right? Being able to pull up a storm swath and being able to download not the property owners that are just in a zip code, but the property owners that are inside of a swath zone. So you're getting the people that are in an impacted area. And since you've got the accurate data from the storm being mapped live, right, by meteorologists, you now also have that data from that exact area. So it's really cool. To complement that, what we've got going now is, of course, you have the ability to load your contacts into the system, right? So you can load up Excel spreadsheets of your contacts. If you're integrated with Job Nimbus, they automatically sync over. And we're working now on other integrations to be able to get other people's data in the system. But to follow up on having those contacts in the system, you're going to have you have the ability now to be alerted when your contacts are hit by a storm.
Okay. Cool.
Now, if Jason Sloan gets hit by a storm, right? We know that, and we can go in and we can download all of the impacted contacts that are inside of that storm swell, and be able not only to find those new leads, right, but to be able to reach out to our current client base. And, you know, go out there if you're doing customer service warranty checks, selling a new roof, whatever it is, you now have that ability to track all of your current clients. So that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys got going on that you guys are kicking around?
Well, as far as like new things that we have added into the system, we've updated our mapping fields, right? So we're now utilizing Mapbox, so we're getting clearer imagery in the system. So now when you zoom in on a house, you've got better imagery to choose from and use to see those actual roofs, right? Also with that, we have now added algorithm maps in the system. So not only do you have access to the hand-drawn meteorologist maps, but you can compare and contrast with algorithm maps. And so now you have the best of both worlds, right? You have what the industry sees, and you have what HailTrace sees. So now you see the live version and the algorithm. So really cool that we have. We've also updated some of the search functionality in the system, being able to actually go in, not only to select your date range that you might be looking for, right? You select a date range in an area, and it'll pull up all those storms that are in that area. But now you can also filter by the type of storm. So one star, 2-star, 3-star, all the way up to your 5-star storms, right? And you can filter that out and only select from the storm types that you're looking for. And of course, the beauty now with HailTrace is you've got access not only to just hail, you've got access to hail, wind, hurricane, tornadoes, actual full maps of those events. And so that's huge. You know, and only having those have been available now for over a year. But that is just a spectacular add, having all the storm types in the system. Being able to not just see that wind hit, but where the path of that high mile per hour wind actually went.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I know wind was always something that everybody was in certain areas. That's how they did their roofs, you know, because they didn't really get hail. But there's areas like Denver, it's like, well, if the whole roof's gone, that's easy. But other than that, it's like, how do you work hail? So this is definitely a tool to help out. I know that in Colorado, since we really didn't have hail last year, I know some guys were working some wind claims and so forth also. Also working some old claims and just doing the ACV and getting the homeowner to pay the rest, you know, because they were told, hey, if you don't replace your roof, you're going to lose your insurance. So these are people that had to. So just a few options in those areas.
I get a lot of calls about what's going to happen in Colorado. You know, that's always, it's a tough one. You know, we all, you know, lots of calls to say, hey man, can we get out of the Springs for a minute? You know, can we get into some Denver and get into some Fort Collins? And yeah, it's a interesting market. Last year was not banner, right? But there were storms to work, no doubt about it. But yeah, if there's going to be some major events in the Denver area, I know a lot of people would be pretty happy.
So I know Derek did his yearly forecast, but it wasn't the same as what we're used to. We're used to you guys touring around the country and being in big cities like Denver and Texas. Can you give us some overview on some spots that you guys were forecasting for?
Well, following up on some of it, you know, we've seen some of the storms coming in that are in the forecast currently, right? Like we've seen Nashville. That storm in Nashville was a great storm path right down through Nashville, cutting right through, right? And then, of course, you saw Gulf Shores. I don't know if you've seen that, but Gulf Shores, Alabama got hit, and some of those areas. To me, what I'm seeing is some storm activity that relates right into the predictions. Texas, of course, already getting 2 5-stars, so that's right in line with what the expectation was there, right?
Yeah.
But now I think what we're looking at and what I'm interested to see is the path of coming up and around through some of the East Coast as well, right? The Carolinas, Georgia, into those areas and see how that comes in. But as far as I've been watching with the storms that are coming through currently, man, I mean, watching some of the Indianapolis, Tennessee, all great storms that started popping through. Arkansas was great as well. So I think I see things popping right along with the path of that storm, of that forecast.
Yeah. I've had a couple of guys reach out to me about that type of stuff, and I'm like, well, you need to talk to Derek and those guys. Like, I don't know, if it's, that's not my forte. I pass it on, So
Right. No, I mean, your side of it is, hey, when it comes through, give me a call.
Exactly.
We'll get it approved and so on, which is a lot in line with, some of what we offer to help services like what you do, is to prove those storm dates. We work with, so many lawyers, law firms, and claims people, public adjusters and so on, getting them that data in the reports that prove the storm dates. So that's a big one too.
So, and so when the way your services work for, typically people are paying, for access monthly or yearly, but they can still buy for like one storm if they wanted to, correct?
Yeah, you can, absolutely. I mean, when you're on an annual subscription with us, say, and there's a storm outside of your current zone, you could definitely buy a single map at a discounted rate. There's no doubt about it. Now, if you see it kicking up, you can also always, upgrade your plan into another area at a discounted rate. So there's definitely options to help cover when you want to jump and move into another storm area. No doubt about it. We want to make sure that the people that are out there chasing them down have the ability to get everything they need, at a discounted rate.
And so it goes city, and that's how big a radius is that again?
Yeah.
City.
If you get a Denver plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prime example is your neck of the woods. If you get a Denver plan, then you have all of Denver Metro, right? And then you have Fort Collins, and you even have the Springs included in that, because you've got that full radius. Same thing like
Dallas. What was the radius again? Because you froze for 2 seconds. What was the radius?
Oh, 85.
Okay, 85 miles. Okay, yeah. Somebody working in Dallas, you got some outskirts too. Same thing with Denver. Okay, and then you guys have a state plan, correct?
Yep.
And you also have a national plan.
Major metros,
mm-hmm.
State plans, or national.
Okay. Okay, and then since you guys now are doing wind and everything, does all the plans include everything, or is it, hey, I only do wind, all I want is wind, or I want everything?
It really depends on what your needs are, right? Because we'll work with multiple types of companies. So you've got your contractor who wants hail, wind, hurricane, tornado, the full nine, right? Mm-hmm. So you get your all-inclusive package. But then you've got your PDR, your paint and dent repair. They don't care about wind. You know what I mean? So they just get their hail packages, things like that. So it depends on the type of contractor and where you're located. If you're in an area that, is prone to both, then both make sense, right? If you're in an area where there's just wind, then we can take a look at those options, of course. Of course, any good hailstorm in a zone, you're going to want to have access to that storm. So, if somebody's in there with wind, then they'd want to upgrade, no doubt about it. But it's definitely where we'll take a look at the needs of the company and build that plan based on that. So whether it's hail, wind, whether or not they work residential or commercial, right, for the data packages, because one thing that we do for our data is that we do offer property owner data, not just for residential, but for commercial contractors as well. So if you come in and you're looking at a swath as opposed to downloading a residential list when you're a commercial contractor, you have full access to those commercial data lists as well, and that ability to get all of that information. Then it's whether or not you have canvassing. A big part of our system now that we have in HailTrace is canvassing tools. So no more do you have to have two different systems, right? Inside of HailTrace, you've got the ability to create canvassing regions, right? You can actually go in and use a polygon tool, draw out a neighborhood, color code that neighborhood, assign it to your canvasser, right? Your canvasser then can go in and drop pins on that neighborhood, and you can run reports on your canvassing activity. In HailTrace, you can create however many pins that you need and pin types. You can customize those pins to collect certain types of data and run reports on it. So there's, really it's all about what are you looking for? How big's your company? What are you looking to do as you grow? What functionality do you need? And you can always add functionality. So if you start off in a certain area and all of a sudden you're hitting a storm and it's slamming and you're getting good revenue, and now you want to grow and you want to get more people into the system and have canvassers, you can do that. You have all that ability. Already with HailTrace, no matter what, when you utilize our system on a plan, you have unlimited users. So you've got the unlimited users for the HailTrace platform, and then all you have to do is, if you want to add canvassers in, we activate the canvassing tool for you, and we go over that with you.
All right. Great. Any other nuggets for us, Bill?
Oh, gosh. We've got some great things coming up in the future. Can't talk about them yet, but we do have some exciting new technology. One thing that's beautiful about having... Am I locked up? Oh, there we go. I froze. One good thing about having a development team located right in our office in Edmond is that we work together with them and our clients and have so many cool new things coming up. It's exciting. So I will tell people, stay tuned, watch what's coming next, because there's some really, really cool tools coming out.
Is there any shows you're going to be going to in the near future?
Yeah, of course. We'll be at the big ones, IRE, RoofCon. Got a couple of regional shows we're going to be going to. I know we're going down to Texas in June. Got a couple going down there, some smaller regional shows. But our main ones, the big ones we'll be at, are definitely going to be RoofCon and the IRE. It's just weird saying the IRE in August.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the weirdest thing, as we transition towards, hurricane season, and, it's like IRE. It's kind of like a weird time. I know with, them having to put off due to COVID and all, but definitely different. I will say it was cool being a part of Win the Storm and being like the first trade show in NOLA and since it started.
Exactly. That was cool. It did stink that for Ubers and some of the restaurants and all that, but
the Uber drivers, my goodness, I don't know. I feel like they had to bring on new ones down in NOLA, because it was crazy trying to get an Uber for a while down there. And those restaurants that were actually open, no doubt. I mean, they were all slammed. So I know that the city of NOLA had to be just ecstatic to have 5,000 contractors in from out of town. So yeah. It was great to be able to get out and do a trade show. It's just nice to be able to get out and do those again. And we look forward to a lot more of them. So we'll be getting out to as many as we can. Always check our Facebook. We'll be posting where we're going, what's happening, and of course, every day at noon, catch our forecast. Noon Central, we've got our forecast going, and know in advance what's happening.
So you want to give your information? I know it's below, but
yeah, absolutely. If you want to come check us out, you want to register on to get a demo, you can always go to HailTrace.com, fill out the form and register for a demo, or you can feel free to give me a call. My direct line there is 360-599-7487, or shoot me an email, bill@hailtrace.com. Nice and simple.
And as always, if you need any help with your supplements or your estimating needs, you can contact me, 720-296-6618, and email is jason@furtadolaw.solutions. And next week, I'm not sure exactly who's going to be on. Got some feelers out, had some people that they're checking their schedule. That's what happened with Bill. We had some technical issues. That's why he's not showing his screen right now. So,
I would have been happy to like even just do a live demo of it, man. But I don't know. As many times as we've tried to do these lives, from last year when we were trying to do them and so on, there's always something with technology, man. Something technical goes out every time.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil, I guess, is what I would say. So
I just don't even know, man. I blame Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for your time, Bill, and always good talking to you and catching up. So looking forward to seeing you at IRE and possibly somewhere before. So.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'll be getting around, no doubt about it. So I'll be seeing you soon.
All right.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time today.
All right. See you guys.